Hi guys, Joe Kerrison here from Kerrison Fitness. Today's video we're going to be doing about a tutorial about how to do a warm-up, an effective warm-up. This is due to popular demand by people watching our videos. With previous workouts, I've simply said about get your mats ready and then do a warm-up and then we're going to jump straight in. But I haven't really given a lot of detail about how to carry out an effective warm-up in itself. So there's 4 stages to doing an effective warm-up, and those stages are by loosening off the joints first, followed by a stretch of all the muscles you're going to be using in your workout, followed by a pulse raiser, and then you want to incorporate a few movements that you're going to be using in your planned session following. So if I explain step 1 first. So loosening off the joints literally just means, even if it's simply rotating the wrists, doing a few circles with the hips, and just maybe a few gates with the legs as well, loosening the shoulders off. So there's nothing too high impact there, there's nothing too explosive with those movements. It's just the idea of loosening everything off. So in physiology, the idea of doing that is to lubricate the joints with synovial fluid, furthermore reducing the risk of injury and reducing the wearing down of cartilage and the joints in themselves. So nothing too explosive to begin with. You just want to get some movement going, loosen everything off, limber up to begin. Then what you want to be doing is getting some stretches in. So now that the joints are prepared and therefore the muscles are going to be a little bit furthermore primed, now you can start getting some stretches in, and they need to be dynamic. They need to be movement based. If they're not movement based, they're not going to be effective. If you're standing still and you're static, there's going to be a bit more of a cool down. So we'll reference a cool down at the end of this video as well. So it's just moving in any sort of direction just to get a bit of a stretch off. You can move across, try and incorporate it whole body. There's no right or wrong answer to what a stretch is. You've got a few list of names, so you can say, you can do some lunges in there, etc. But any movement you do in which you feel a stretch is correct. So just follow what feels good to you. If a particular area is feeling tight, incorporate that muscle and that area. Okay. Once you're feeling stretched and loose, then you want to be starting to now raise the heart rate. So the idea of raising the heart rate is to deliver oxygenated blood to the muscles which are demanding that oxygen as fuel for the coming exercise. Okay, so now you want to be starting to get a little bit more explosive, a little bit more, on your feet. So the way I like to do a good pulse raiser is to start by standing up and say doing a few high knees or some tuck jumps, then going down on the floor and doing some exercises which your lungs are going to be a lot more collapsed down there. So whilst you're down on the floor, you're not going to be able to breathe as well, and therefore those muscles are going to be demanding more oxygen, but you can't supply it. Therefore your heart rate's going to go up, your breathing rate's going to go up, and then when you come to stand up again, then you can supply the demand. Okay, so just to explain that, you might want to do some high knees, punching out in front for about 20 seconds, and then we're going to go down on the floor for some mountain climbs. Again for about 20 seconds, then we're standing up, and then we might want to do some tuck jumps. So we're going to really drive right up into the air. Again, you can see these are all big explosive movements, and it's just the idea of about between 3 to 5 minutes of going up and down. Sorry, I had a phone call there. So 3 to 5 minutes of going up and down and just getting your heart rate as high as you possibly can, making sure your breathing rate's as high as it can possibly get, and then you're ready. Then you're good to move on, you're safe to move on to some exercises which are going to be in your session plan. Okay, so for example, say we're doing a nice HIIT circuit and our first exercise is going to be burpees. You might want to practice a few of those. Don't just jump in and then start doing your whole session, but just a couple of reps of each of the exercises you're going to do. Not only can you then sort of practice those, but you get a good idea of what your form's going to be like. See if there's any adjustments which need to be made. Okay, so that's how to deliver an effective warm-up with those 4 phases. There's no right or wrong answer with it, but so long as you roughly go in that sort of direction, that will work out well. Okay, moving on. Once you've finished your session and the majority of people there will just walk, you know, back indoors and sit down on their bums, and that'll be it, session done. But what you've got a big build up then is an actual poison in the body known as lactic acid from working out. So what you need to do is stretch off. So again, there's no right or wrong answer, but whichever muscles you've been using most during that session, you need to lengthen those muscles and release the lactic acid in there. And then not only will that reduce the risk of injury and cramps and DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, but it will also prime you, get you ready for your next session of exercise. You won't need as much rest time perhaps. So a few stretches, which you can do, say for your arms, you can come across. These are quite typical stretches. You can reference Google for stretches. You can find whole body stretches. Again, no right or wrong answer. It's literally about what feels right to you at a certain time. So for your legs as well. With this stretch here, we're trying to do the quadriceps at the front of the leg. So we're pulling the foot back. Try and keep your knees together, push your hips forward. And you want to spend about 15 to 20 seconds on each stretch. And then you've got the choice where you can sort of do it again. Make sure you stretch both sides. You don't want to cause any muscular imbalances. You shouldn't wake up the next morning and sort of walk sideways and feel like one side's stretched and the other side isn't. But there's just a couple of stretches for you there. But the best way to do that is just simply go on Google and say, look, this is aching. This is the muscle I've used. What's a good stretch for it? Because there's thousands. I could stand here all day running through them all, but just to really emphasize, make sure you cool down after a session. Get into a habit of it. It'll probably add another 10 or 15 minutes on to the end of your sessions, but it's 100% worth it. And you think, if you don't stretch in sessions for say 20 years worth of working out, that's going to build up and you're going to suffer from a lot of problems down the line. What a lot of people don't do, who don't even work out, is take the time just to stretch from the daily routine. If you've done a lot of walking in a day, again, that's going to build up. You need to come home and stretch off, perhaps before going to bed. It will help. But that's basically the idea of warming up and cooling down. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, please do leave them in the comments. Look forward to seeing you later on today for our main workout of these daily home video workouts, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.